My name is Amanda, and I was set free by reading the book Shut the Hell Up. When I first heard the title of the book, my first instinct was, can I actually say that? So I think it was my religious mindset and good girl mentality where I needed to follow the rules, and clearly it was ignorance that I didn't understand the true meaning of what the title was. So yeah, but that was my first instinct. Well, I think one thing is your behavior reveals your belief, right? So you say that in this book and elsewhere, right? But I think that that is something that as a doer, right, I want to live and do, but I'm trying to do an honest self-assessment and look at myself and see what is my behavior speaking, because our lives do speak. And I know and recognize that I am a sign that I either am pointing people to God or pointing them away from Him. And so my behavior is that sign. And so I want to live a life where I am constantly pointing people up and pointing them home, instead of pointing them elsewhere. And so living my life of faith and openly professing my faith, is people are going to be watching, right? And I want to make sure that my behavior does reveal what I believe. And so in everything that I do, I am showing that there is freedom in living an intimate, authentic relationship with God, as opposed to being judgmental or living in some way that I'm trying to appear perfect. But I am human, I am flawed, but I am loved and I am chosen. And all of those things are still true. So I want to make sure that my behavior reveals that to others. And I think that through this book, it's helped me to realize that I have a purpose, I'm here for a purpose, and I can carry that out and draw more people to Him, as opposed to focusing on being right and perfect and doing things a certain way, and then distracting from His glory. So. Yeah, so I absolutely believe that this book points people up. I think that in every word, every chapter, everything, that's one of the reasons that I love all of your writing, because it's very much relatable. You don't have to read God's word to understand what you are explaining. You take God's word and you explain it in a way that through stories, through analogies, anyone who picks it up can read it now or 100 years from now, right, can pick it up and read it and understand. And it's not about a name for yourself. That's why I love it so much. Everything points to Him, because it's all about how we are to become closer to Him and what He wants and truly wants out of our lives. And that is freedom, right? He wants to give us that freedom. And when we are with Him and living our lives with Him and through Him, then we can experience that freedom. So, no, I absolutely believe that this book transforms. So if somebody does take a picture, there will be a distinct difference before and after. I do believe that, I'm a lit lady, right? That's something that a group that I'm in, and really the reason that we're called that is because, as we continue to be filled each day with God's Spirit and He falls afresh on us, we are a light to those that we encounter, and they notice a difference in us. And I do feel like reading this book, it gives you that freedom, and we're glowing in the dark, right? So it gives us that light that people can see us and see that there is something different in us. And so I would challenge anyone to read this book and not come away changed. Well, I think one of the things that I did highlight in terms of a passage, it was from chapter 4, and certain phrases just jump out at me, and I just think this one, God is more vested in our lives than many believers realize. His glory is tied to the choices we make and the steps we take. And I just, the book revealed to me how God giving us choice was the ultimate gift of love, right? And I've never really looked at it that way. but it's not control. He's not controlling us. He's giving us free will. And I just think what a beautiful gift that is. But it also requires our action, right? So we have an opportunity with each choice that we make. And so that really resonated with me, just the amount of love that he gives us in giving us choice. So when we see evil, when we see someone doing something beautiful and lovely, right, of course, all good things, he is a part of anything good that we do. But the evil that we see, it's a choice that somebody made. But behind that evil, there is love, because God gave them the choice to make that decision. And so each and every one of us are given daily, minute by minute, the opportunity to make choices. And so, it's just really helped me to see the impact of the choices that I make. It's a big responsibility, but again, the love that God has for each one of us, that he gave us choice. It blows me away. So it's pretty amazing. So from chapter 6, which is change requires a shift in one's will, there was a whole section called the delicate dance that emphasizes, we cannot change ourselves, but that change is a delicate dance where God leads, but we must follow. So the one paragraph that I really wanted to highlight, because I thought that this was written so beautifully and I could literally imagine and visualize God doing this, it says, imagine God grabbing us by the hand and leading us onto the dance floor. With a nod of his head, the music begins as he takes us in his majestic arms. He draws us close, but we have been told that whatever he wills for us is all his doing. We have been told our role is passive, so we hang limp in his arms, closing our eyes to avoid becoming motion sick. He steps, turns, and spins, realizing we are present but disengaged. What do you think happens next? What would happen next if you were leading this dance? With a wisp of his hand, he stops the music, drops us in a heap on the floor, and heads off, searching for a willing and interested dance partner. Well, it just reveals that I'm missing so much if I'm disengaged and I'm not actually dancing, right? And again, like through my religious upbringing, dancing was a no-no, right? So it was something that we were it was frowned upon. So like you weren't allowed to go to dances. So this is what really resonated, because I think that, Satan, hell, tries to make you look at something and skews the meaning of it. And so this really resonated because I can see God holding out his hand, and I can see me overthinking and be like, what if people are looking? What if? But he's calling me to that intimate relationship. Dancing is not something you do from across the room. So, I envision the intimacy of him holding out his hand and wanting me to grab a hold and to dance with him. And it takes two to dance, right? If only one of you is dancing, it looks really awkward. And, as this passage in the book says, he's going to move on and find the next dance partner who's willing to dance. So he gives us an opportunity, and I don't want to miss out on those opportunities that he gives. So instead of living a life that is limited, I want to make sure I'm living the life that he has purposed for me and is calling me to live. Dear friend, if you are considering getting this book, don't consider it any longer. Please do. You don't want to miss out on the truth, the love, and the freedom found in these pages. So, like me, you will be changed by reading these words, this book. Take the step today to become closer to God, to understand him more, and to shut the hell up in your life.